of This Is Our Life. So Hurricane Sandy's on the way. To be honest with you, I have been through many hurricanes in my life. I have been through typhoons in my life, and typhoons are even worse than hurricanes. Much larger. I lived on Okinawa for 5 years. When a typhoon would come through, that island disappears. You cannot see it from satellite. It vanishes. It's nothing but clouds that you see. You see only clouds. I remember one year, see, we always lived off base, okay, except for the last little bit of time we lived on Okinawa. We always lived in civilian housing amongst the people, whatever country we lived in. And I'm glad it was that way. I just wish it could have stayed that way. But we lived. This is the last house off base on Okinawa, and it had a brick, like a brick fence. You know, not a wall because it was fence height, and it surrounded the house. You could walk all the way around the house and still be within the fence. And a typhoon came through one year. They came through quite often. And I remember when, like, the eye or whatever it was, it came over, and it gets really calm, really eerie. And I begged and begged and begged my dad to go outside. Finally he said, okay, just for a second. And I went outside, and you're standing there, and it's like, wow. And then all of a sudden, bam, it hits you again. But I was inside by the time it hit again. But when my dad went and walked around the house, make sure everything was safe, make sure the boards were still on the windows and things like that. People up here in New Cary are paranoid. I don't know what.
They overreact.
Yeah, they overreact. I mean, I remember we didn't technically live in Houston, but we lived outside of Houston, which back in those days it was a farming community we lived in. But my mother had a friend in Houston, and we went to her friend's house, and the streets were underwater. So I guess we were already there, I don't know. And I swam in the streets, which was a stupid thing to do because you can be sucked into a drain, but it was deep enough to swim in. The water in the streets was deep enough to swim in. It's not that big of a deal. Just be safe. I mean, have food, have water. We have oil lamps and candles, flashlights. Oh, excuse me. So we have our medicine. We have blankets. We have sheets. We have oil. We have coats. We have. I guess that's.
We have what we need.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't expect the winds here to be what they would have been in the south on the coast in Texas.
Boston.
Yeah, because you know down there you tape up your windows or you board your windows up, which is a better idea. And I don't think that's going to be an issue up here. I really don't expect. Now, yeah, take precautions. Don't stand in front of the window when you know.
I think we may get some flooding up here, but
you know,
not hurricane-style flooding.
But you know.
Excuse me, I've lived within a few miles of the Mississippi River. Once you experience Mississippi River flooding, a hurricane looks like nothing almost.
Yeah, so, you know, people are, you know, like in Texas, I remember you literally seeing a piece of straw, like a piece of hay, poked in a telephone pole.
Oh my.
Yeah. And that's really freaky. A friend of mine, I wasn't his friend at the time, I didn't know him at the time. He watched his dad get killed when a hurricane came through. The power lines went down. His name was Chuck. He was from Kingsville. Wish I could find him, but he's probably in an institution. Last time I heard anything, about '94, he was in an institution. We met in an institution. He was a good guy. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And for people to get all uppity the way they are, I'm like, calm down, folks. Calm down.
I feel like, I know this is a hurricane, but if this was like Hurricane Katrina coming at us,
yeah,
I think they'd have a reason to react the way they are. But this thing barely qualifies as a level 1 hurricane.
Yeah, it's like 75 miles an hour. I'm like, what? You know, it's... So just be safe, people. Don't stand in front of windows. Don't stand in front of your door. Try to get inside your house where there are no windows, no outside walls. But you don't really need to do that because it's not that big of an issue. In our building where we live, there are no... Well, actually there is a tree right over here that could fall on us, but I seriously doubt it will.
It would really have, the wind would really have to push it when it fell.
Yeah. So, you know, be safe. I mean, you know, just take common sense precautions. Have food that you don't need to cook. You know, like canned foods. And hey, opening up a can of beans or a can of chili may not be all that great, but it'll keep you fed when you're not in a position to cook. Up here, people don't tend to use natural gas, so we don't have the safety issues that you would have in places where there is natural gas usage. Have water for sanitation and drinking, mainly for drinking. Have like those little bottles of alcohol rub to clean your hands with, because you don't need to waste your water on doing that. 1 gallon of water per person per day minimum. Although some people say just all you need is a liter, but I don't think that's enough. Make sure you have medicine. If you're on medicine, make sure it's like right here in front of you, like mine. If you have pets, like this fat boy right here, make sure they have food and water. And we have.
I think you just insulted him by calling him fat.
Yeah, he needs a playmate to play with, and he just wants to fight other dogs, but cats he'll play with.
There's one neighborhood dog that he's starting to become buddies with.
Yeah, because that dog doesn't give in to his, you know, barking and grandstanding.
And acting.
Yeah, he's just, and that's what other dogs have to do. They have to be willing to do that with him, and a lot of dogs, they just want to fight, you know, so. I don't know, so just be safe. I don't know what else I can say about it. Just be safe, please. Have a good day.